Hey friends, welcome back to my studio. I hope you're having a great day today. I'm going to paint another rooster. I'll link this photo in the video's description. I added the type in Photoshop and I have purchased the license to that type so I can use it commercially. Isn't that a fun rooster? So we're going to paint it very similar to this video. I video ahead of my schedule, so maybe a month and a half ago. I'll link this video in this video's description. Isn't that pretty? I really like that. It's a really fun painting. And I'm going to use the same colors. I'm going to use yellow oxide. They're all Liquitex. Prussian blue. Isn't that fun? Red oxide. And then I'll use a hint of red on the comb and wattle again like I did in the other video. And then titanium white and Mars black. Okay, I'm going to paint the background. We're going to have this background be warmer just like our reference photo. And we're going to have a lot of fun. Guess what? I am already off course. Just makes me laugh. So the other rooster painting I showed you earlier, I had the light, I can't turn it because it's wet. I had the light on the bottom and the dark on the top. And then when I came back from dinner, I forgot to flip this when I put the traceable on. I was all eager to get painting. I forgot to flip it. But then I could, if I were in art class or school, I could argue that I wanted to flip it. If you show the two pieces together or someone buys them together, you know, this one's weighted on the bottom to help frame it in and that one over there is weighted on the top, that kind of stuff. You know, but it's not what I actually planned on. I thought that was kind of funny. I made a pretty rusty red brown with black, and I think it's about half and half, maybe a little more red oxide and yellow oxide. So that's fun. And then I put titanium white out. Since I used a 1-inch filbert to paint my background. I'm going to start a new palette because I don't have a ton of room left on this one. And I think that's about it. I scaled my photo up. Oh, I don't know that I said that this is an 11 by 14 inch canvas from Michaels. It's 1.5 inches thick. I think we're up to speed. Okay, guys, I'll be back in a bit. let's stop and chat for a little bit. So I am using the same colors as in that previous rooster painting video, but different. This is a warm background. It's a different rooster. And I'm just having fun putting in, like, so my light's pretty much coming from the top. I could actually move it to the center here. It's soft light, and it could just be that the feathers are white here, but I'm going to say it's coming. There is a highlight here on this side. There really isn't a highlight up here. So it's almost like the light's coming from the top. Well, and the right a little bit, front right. You can overthink it. Definitely dark here, so that helps. And so I'm just putting in some color, some brush strokes that indicate some feathers. And then it's really fun to mix, like, look how pretty that green is. So the Prussian blue is, I would call it a convenience color. You could take one of your blues, mix a little black in it. And then I mixed some of the yellow oxide, which is also a convenience color. I would put a pinch of brown in there. Just a pinch. I think that'll get you there if you put it in some cad yellow. And it makes a really pretty green. I've made kind of a purpley color. I did use the cad red and the Prussian blue because this is such a muted color. You could use the red oxide and get kind of a purpley red color. And I made a big pile of brown, and that's blacker brown. That's kind of an orange, so that's the yellow oxide. And I think both of these colors. I know I mixed red oxide in it, and then I reddened it up just a little bit with the cad red. And I'm just getting, and I'm just finding my values, when I say finding shapes, in this case, I'm using a flat brush, and I've been going between a 1/2 inch flat, I think that's probably a 1/4 inch flat, and then occasionally, like up in the face, I used a #1 round. This is a craft brush from Michaels. This one is in their art. It comes in a pack, but it's in the art aisle, where this one's in the craft aisle. This one was in the art aisle at Michaels. This is Artist Loft. This is a Princeton #1 round. I have a link to Princeton's Amazon store in this video's description. Okay, so when I mean shapes, like this is a dark shape in here underneath the wing. But I am varying the color a little bit to give it sort of a little bit of look of those feathers. And brushstroke direction really helps you. Here, maybe we should do a little tour. I'm going to move my palette. So I know I want to put at least a highlight in the eye and maybe some glow, but the comb and wattle and the beak could be done. Oh, and I light in the background, but let's finish the tour. So I am just like 4 inches off to the side of my phone so that I always laugh because I really can't see what I'm doing. You guys are really up close. You couldn't get this close if you were here in my studio. Okay, and then prior to all those comments, I decided I wanted to lighten this up more. And then I also think I darkened this more down here. Okay, I think that gets us up to speed. These are really fun, yummy colors. But you could do it with red, yellow, blue, black, and white. You just mix in some black or mix in the complement to mute down the color. Okay, guys, hopefully those comments help. I'll be back in a bit. Hey friends, just a couple comments. So I'm pretty much using this 1/2-inch brush for everything, and I'm using it because it's kind of the width of a large feather. Like it'll work well for the feathers back up here. I'm putting in some of the shadows so I can put feathers over it. I'm finding some of them in the reference photo, and eventually I won't follow the reference photo, if that makes sense. I just kind of get the structure down and then I come back with what I think looks fun. Brush stroke direction really helps you. And then like I get a little split here. Like you get a little split and it looks like a feather. So I painted it kind of an orangey color, then I came back with a lighter color, and then I came back with a brown. And it just looks more like a feather if you follow the feather direction. So hopefully that helps. I'm not done with this area. It's a little tighter, but I'm going to come back, and I did darken this area right here. I think I darkened this a little more. I'm just kind of watching my values. I am going to come back. I don't know if I really need to, but like this rooster has, has some fun markings. I don't know if you can see them. I'm just gonna, hopefully you can see them. Little beige, dark beige and blue. And there's actually some lighter orangey beigeish feathers back there. I might put some of those back in, or put them in. I think that's interesting. I think that's about it. I've got a little bit of green there. I don't know if it even shows, and I've got some really dark greens here. I'm gonna work a few greens in. I think that's about it for comments. Oh, I think the whole reason I popped in is it's 4 p.m. my time. Oh, I had lunch with favorite son today. I think I got back about 12:30, 12:45. I think I've been working on this for about 3 hours. So I'm going slow. This is slow. And I'll come back. Like I'll put in the sort of medium value, and you don't have to follow this, but I'll put in some color and then decide light or dark, or put in the brown, as I said. So that takes quite a while just to do that. And I like the time lapse, and I pop in and chat, because then I can focus just on the painting. I'll get better, but when I do the lives, I'm worried about you guys and being entertained. Excuse me, my throat's getting a little dry. And I like to just focus on the painting. I'm okay if I have like a podcast going in the background, because I don't feel like I have to entertain the podcast, but you're my friends. I want to chat with you. Okay. So I'm going slow. This painting is going to happen over a couple of days for several afternoons. And when something crops up, I'll be back. Okay, I've been working on this. It's almost 9 p.m. Maybe 2 hours. I'm working on it slower because I built these feathers, and I did this section last because it goes over those feathers. You could do it sooner. I mean, I could have started with the feathers and worked this way. I was just kind of thinking that, well, these do go over the top of these. I made them greener. I changed the color a little bit, but I also did go off the reference photo and they go brown. This really long one that goes over the side. See if I can show you. It just barely goes over onto the side. Isn't that fun? Goes brown in my reference photo, and this one is brownish, so I did follow that. Not sure what all I want to say. Here, I finished the eye. I can show you the eye. So what I'm going to do is photograph this tomorrow outside in the shade, and then I'm going to put the word rooster on it. And the reason I'm going to photograph it is so I have a version without the words. I could Photoshop the words out, but sometimes when I license my art, they want like different font, something else. They don't want any words. I did paint onto the bottom. I don't know if I'll be able to. Oh, you can't. I just kind of put a hint of a leg in there, just in case anybody looks. Oops. Really pretty colors. And you should go check out the other rooster photo with the same, I'm going to have the same word, same typeface, rooster. Because well, I painted more detail on these feathers. I liked it, felt like it. Thought that was fun. Okay, I can't really think of anything else right now. Our light's coming pretty much from up here. I could make these lighter. They aren't in the reference photo, but I could give them like a little bit of sun glow up here. Alrighty, so I'll be back tomorrow and I'll video me. Oh, so I'm gonna put the traceable back on it and trace the word rooster and then paint it, and then I'll be back at the end. Hey friends, I'm done. It's just a fun font that I purchased the license for. I really like that. This time I used, I think my mic just popped off. Oh no, I think we're okay. This time I used a 3/0, really little, if I can stick it someplace where you can see it, little liner brush, and thinned out my paint, the Prussian blue. Oh, I just stuck it in the Prussian blue. I think it was a little easier to control. I don't know if there's any other comments I need to chat about. I really like how warm and yummy this painting is. I photographed it this morning. I'm going to dry this with a hair dryer and I'll photograph it again outside. Oh, here, maybe you want to see my palette. I didn't add any colors. I mixed an orange, and then I'll mix colors off of that orange puddle as I need it. You know, mix the green. This is a little bluer green, kind of play with that. Mix the brown. Anyway, messy palette. All right, let's move that. You want to see the letters maybe? I just varied the value of the letters for fun, and it's also easier. Well, I don't know actually if it's easier. If you just did straight out of the tube Prussian blue, that might be easier. I think I've already showed the eye and the face. I think we've already done a tour. Okay guys, super appreciate you hanging out with me. It's so much fun to chat with other fellow artists. I really appreciate your support. Great big happy art hugs, and I hope to chat with you soon. Bye guys.